Good to see you.
Welcome back to Code Vein, my fellow revenants. Okay, as you see, we are here in the Ashen Cavern, the underground, and we are running a hammer with a veil that we cannot use. And if you are a very astute player, you will notice that we are running Blade Dance down here, because we are going to be running
Double checking everything?
the hammer damage Prometheus build here. So this is going to be absolutely nuts because the damage for how this particular setup will work, it works this. I mean, the formula is the same for everything, but how it's going to work for us is very intriguing, since the huge hammer is something you get as you wander your way through the Ashen Cavern here. You pick this up in your way, so I figure we would go ahead and use it here. Now, as you notice, we can't use our Blood Veil because we're going to be trying to use Bridge to Glory, but we have Cognitive Zeal to boost our mind up to a B+, so then we can get all those sweet, sweet benefits of the Daybreak Thunderfang. Like I said in a previous video, if you don't have that, you can go for the White Vestment, as that's a comparable counterpart to the Daybreak Thunderfang if you're running a Hound's Veil. Now we have two options here. We could either go for Swift Destruction for damage up, or we could go for Regenerative Drain if we get into problems and we need health. So we'll kind of go over this a little bit, and the formula for this is that Blade Dance is a hit multiplier, but it's multiplied by your base damage. So it's inside the parentheses of the multipliers, so which is great because it's more of an additive before the multiplicative multipliers kick in. So Bridge to Glory, Offensive Order, and Adrenaline are all multiplicative to our base, but they are after Blade Dance is applied. So it's very good because then the Blade Dance strikes are getting also multiplied by the multiplicative bonuses on the outside of the parentheses. So it's a summation as you continue to strike. Your damage on the first strike will go up by 5%, but then, or on every strike, it increases by 5%, but because Adrenaline, Bridge to Glory, and Offensive Order are all outside of that multiplicative bonus, it'll be 5%, and then it'll be times 1.1 times 1.4 for Bridge to Glory for this, and then times 1.2 for Offensive Order. So then it'll be all those multiples times 1.05 for 5% increase. So every strike, you're going to be increasing more than 5% every single strike. So eventually you get up to a point where you're increasing 20% damage every strike, 25%, 30%, 50%. So it has no damage ceiling. It only has a striking pattern damage ceiling. For instance, the higher your stamina is, then you can continue to do more hits, so therefore you can have a higher damage. So it's all based on how many strikes you can get off before Blade Dance ends. So that's kind of what we're going to be going for here. So, and to boot, we will be quick.
Just watch. Something's nearby.
So we'll pick up the Vestige here. Now, if you pair this with Eternal Blade Dance, see, now we're not getting any I-Core back because we need Cognitive Zeal in order to use our Blood Veil. So there we go. So that's kind of the crux of this whole thing, is hopefully you have enough stamina to continue doing attacks, but then at the same time you have enough I-Core to maintain Cognitive Zeal and all of your other buffs. Okay, so we'll get Bridge to Glory. That's a 40% increase for this particular setup here with the huge hammer. And we're not even at full potential yet, and we're two-shotting enemies.
You're observant.
So we'll pick up all the Artemis vestiges here, I think, this time. Ooh. Okay, so let's go for Blade Dance. So the first strike never has the bonus, but the consecutive strikes do. There we go, we're doing a ton of damage there. Let's get some health up. Now our defenses are severely inhibited here because we are using offensive order. Let's get some Ichor back here. Now Blade Dance is over, so we're gonna have to get some Ichor up here. So this the huge hammer is the highest hammer damage potential in the game, but it has massive stamina drain, but it has superior damage. So you just have to manage your stamina very well, and as you can see, you have to manage your health pretty well. Okay, and we're still not up to full because we still don't have quick mobility. So there's normal mobility, there's quick mobility.
I see.
Okay, let's get a launch if we can. That'll kill him. And get a launch. That should almost kill. Yeah, that should kill that guy. So our basic attack is basically our. Look at that, 7,000 damage. I mean, and offensive order wasn't even up. So I mean, the damage scaling on this thing, if you can continuously attack, it's crazy. Now, Survivor, keep your eye on that, as we're going to be running Survivor as we go into the night. I have a special something planned for him. Oh. Okay, we're going to need some health here. Get Bridge to Glory up. Now you see our blood veil is going to run out here in a second. Oh, what? How did I get venom? Oh well. Let's get this off quick. See, but we're almost out of health. So this is like it has extremely high damage potential and scaling. But it's an exceptionally fun way to go about this. Now you need Cognitive Zeal in order to have Bridge to Glory and the Daybreak Thunderfang going, and as the Daybreak Thunderfang is the highest light scaling veil, that's how we're getting that 40% up on the hammer damage. It's hammer time! McHammer time! I don't know if you've seen DJ Steve Porter's video of McHammer time, but that makes me laugh and smile every time I see it. Okay, let's go ahead and get this up. Get some blood abilities here. Okay. Well, we're gonna have to stop that. And see, if I was actually good at the game, I could dodge those. And here comes everybody else. Let's get offensive order. Let's go help Eva out. Okay, good. And then if we get a hasten up here, we will be quick now. As soon as we do this. Now the running attack does more damage than the basic attack, so when you have the potential and the chance to do it, go ahead and do a run and then attack, as it has a higher stagger potential as well.
There are enemies above.
Yep, we're gonna just ignore that guy. So this is where you get the huge hammer, is right here. Make sure you open the chest before the slime falls down. Do 4,000 damage in one shot on him. Let's get Blade Dance up here.
Not a lot of freedom here.
And then all the slimes will come down. Oh. Okay, so Bridge to Glory is over, so we're losing 40%. Oh. We're losing 40% damage there. So let's get that up.
Well as I'd expected.
And then we come over here and we'll do a launch. And this should do quite a bit of damage. There's a big hit on him. Get a backstab here, get some Ichor up. Now see, we have a maximum of 40, so it's not exactly a very large, what is that, Ichor pool?
We can relax a bit here.
But at the same time, we are able to heal up and continue on our way at these different missiles as they are fairly close together in here, in these different areas, which is nice. So we can
Thanks.
get that going, and we're gonna have to do some attacks here. This will just buy us time. It won't actually buy us any Ichor. Oh, just enough Ichor. Let's get some stamina. There we go. And then get Bridge to Glory going, as that's our major damage
I underestimated.
buff. And we need more Ichor so we can continue getting Blade Dance going. Okay, let's get Adrenaline. Now you don't want to go for Offensive Order until later on, as it lowers your defenses. And as you can see, I'm not very good at doing much of anything here. So I try and keep my defense as high as possible, so when I take those hits to the face, I can survive most of them. So, let's keep, well, this way is that girl and some other things, but we're not going to go that way. We are going to go this way and pick up this vestige.
Oh, is that today?
Now, I'm going to try and keep the episodes for the road to 100. I've noticed that like it's just harder for me to keep it up during the week. And so I think I'm going to try and keep them to about a half hour each. Oh, come on, shot me in the back. That's illegal in all 50 states. Okay, 2 shots on that. 1 shot and a backstab, just for good measure. So Blade Dance is extremely powerful if you can get a continuous barrage of attacks off. But if you have to stop in between enemies, like this, I mean, look at that, 6,000 damage. That's like Swallow Cutter in 1 shot. That's insane amount of damage. But the problem is you got to do it all while Blade Dance is active, because as soon as it ends, you lose that inner multiplicative bonus of all of your damage stacking. So let's go ahead and get this up. So you want to do as many attacks as you can while Blade Dance is active, because as soon as it ends, you lose a huge amount of damage. Oh, I got somebody. Oh, I'm dead. Can I get another? Yeah, there we go. Oh. Now that... Okay, so that inhibit, that is the worst killer to this build, is because it turns off everything instantaneously. That is just absolutely the worst thing that can happen. So let's go ahead and try this again here. 8. I thought... Oh, Hasten is 10. That's right. So let's go for Bridge. She's going to shoot. Let's go for a... So that's kind of a very interesting... it's... Oh boy. Now here's where we're gonna be in some trouble. Yep. Okay. Whew. We're getting tangled around the wheel here. Let's get hasten going. Get some of that damage and ability back there to be quick. So that's the interesting thing, is that you can
May you find
take a hammer, which is the heaviest hammer in the game, and you can take a pretty good blood veil, which is also really heavy, and you can turn them into a quick build. I mean, look at this, 4,000. So 8761 in one drain attack. So yeah, it's pretty good. And if that was coupled with the blade dance bonus, we would have gotten a significant amount of damage. Let's get some backstabs here before we keep moving on. So that's how you want to remember blade dance. Is it's 5% extra on strike, but it's before all of the other bonuses are applied, so you can get an incredibly high damage ceiling if you play it right. Okay. 1, 2. Okay. And then we'll try for the invasion here again, see if we can do it. Now everybody here is, I said a wrong thing last time. I said that through here we want to be doing crush ice. That's a mistake. We want to be doing pierce ice through here. But you know, we'll pass that. We'll be doing this for now. Oh boy, there's an inhibit. Okay, let's heal up here and get an inhibit vaccine. Where is it? This guy. Okay. Well, all right. We'll skip the invasion for here. That is where this is extremely hampered. Is when you get into a situation like this where you know, something like inhibit comes along and you can't use it. You can't use any of your abilities anymore, and there's no way to get them back quickly and easily. So let's get bridge going. Let's run past these guys so they follow us. Let's get a backstab. Oh, Eva, forget about that guy. We got bigger problems up here. Okay, let's get hasten going. Oof. Come on, Eva. Let's go. Let's go get our haze. While we have the chance for it. Let's pick this up. Ooh, what? I'm in iframes. How can you hit me? Oh boy. Oh my goodness. Oh, it's getting worse and worse. Alright, let's drink some water here. So the reason the huge hammer benefits so much from blade dance is because of the fact that it is such a high damage cap that to use it, you because you're getting that 5%, you, because it's multiplicative inside of the parentheses of how the formula is constructed, you get massive damage scaling off of it because it already has a very, very, very high base. Which is why it benefits also again from Bridge to Glory so much for that 40% damage increase. Eva, where are you at? Are you fighting this guy? There. Took care of that for you. Alright, let's get bridge up and adrenaline and offensive order. Now that's also the other problem is offensive order. Like I said, it decreases your defenses. So we basically can't defend any of this, as you can clearly see. And not to say that if we didn't have offensive order, we would be doing just peachy keen and everything would be fine, but it would definitely change the damage that we're taking from these guys. See, a little spitter kills us. Payback is served. So we're gonna skip the invasion for the sake of time, but those are typically rites of passage anyways, just to see how good you've gotten, or how bad in my case you've gotten over time. So it's a lot of fun to play with hammers. Oh boy, and this guy. It's good to have Eva with you because she shoots all those guys. So since she's long range, it helps out considerably. I don't know where she's at now. So hammers on the whole. See, now our veil is out because we didn't have cognitive zeal active. So that's the thing. But cognitive zeal is only 4 ichor, so it's fairly easy to get it up. I mean, this build is extremely difficult because you have to remember what's my mobility to hopefully be getting your swift destruction active. What's my willpower, so I can make sure that I'm using Bridge to Glory and the Daybreak Thunderfang from Cognitive Zeal. And when is Blade Dance active and when is it not active? Now, if you have something that actually attacks fast, and you can get them really large damage scaling out of that weapon, then Blade Dance is phenomenal and exceptional. However, the one weapon that it scales with the most percentage-wise in the game happens to be the pipe, because it has such a low damage amount. But as it scales 5% of that with everything else, it's actually interesting how high that can actually get, because it's a quick low stamina weapon. Anyways, so that was kind of a Prometheus build. Now for the knight, I want to do something completely nuts. Probably won't work, but we're going to be going for a stun, inhibit, venom, all the things on this guy, because yes, he's weak to all of them, but also at the same time he is affected by all of them. And we're going to be going for a slow hammer, and we're going to be running Hades. So then we're going to have opportunism for every status ailment that he has. We're going to be doing more damage. Then we have charge accelerator and time crunch and a charge booster, because we're going to be using the heavy damage attack of the huge hammer, which we haven't seen yet, and I purposely haven't been using it, but we'll see it here. I'll show you a little bit of it. So you charge up, and you heard that it does 5 hits, and every one of those hits counts as another application of the potential of the status ailment that's on your weapon. I have adrenaline just for a flat, straight up multiplicative 10% there that we add to it, because we're probably going to be getting hit a lot. We have morale boost to hopefully offset the stamina decrease recovery rate in Rush of Blood. And we're going to have the huge hammer slow. We're going to have the debuff build up, so the knight will get inhibited, slowed, poisoned, and stunned all at the same time. So I'll show you again here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And she's almost slowed, so she's slowed now. And she could barely turn around. So we'll see how this works. I have no see how slow our stamina recovery rate is. So yeah, that's what we gotta watch out for. So you can apply a status effect extremely quick, and once all four of those statuses are applied to your hammer, and you do the charge running attack, which is going to be happening over and over and over, hopefully, if he doesn't move, then all the stat debuffs will be increased significantly on his on strike, and since we do technically 0 to 5 strikes depending on our RNG of how our character lines up, we will be damaging him exceptionally well in a very short amount of time. So yeah, we'll we'll see how this goes here. Like I said, I have no anticipation of what this is. It's just something completely bizarre and crazy, so we're gonna see how we go here.
You're awfully attentive.
Okay. And we are going to, I think that should be enough. And the nice thing is that for all of these status effects here, they are very low ichor consumption, so we can use them fairly liberally throughout the fight. So
Can't let ourselves lose it.
1, 2, and that's good. We got 2 hits. There's 2. There's 2. Oh. Okay. There's 2. Okay, maybe we can... There, we got 5. So he's slow now. So are we. There was 1. Oh. Okay. Now you'll notice we don't have any ability to heal Eva here. Oh. Oof. Oof. But since he's resistant to crush, the huge hammer lacks severely. So this is kind of like just a very bizarre way to go about doing damage, because as soon as those status ailments are applied, the enemies just take bonkers damage. So let's see here if I can get a good example here, like on this guy. Or so he's slow, poisoned, inhibited, and stunned. It's just crazy. Let's try this guy. Oh, see, but that's the thing, is if the enemy moves, you instantly take extreme damage, because you're in the middle of the attack animation. And you have no ability to continue any kind of follow-up attack. So yeah, that is the problem with how this goes. Now, if we were using Pierce, this would go much better. Actually, we should probably be going for Ice against him instead of Adrenaline. So it's kind of a different. It's a completely, I wouldn't recommend type of a build, but it can be fun.
Just face.
And you see that it's good until all the buffs run out. Well, I mean it's not good, but it's working until all the buffs run out, and then all of a sudden we're hosed pretty good. These only last for 10 seconds, so it's important to get in and do the damage while you can. Yep, see, he moved. We're almost better off just to do that. There was 3 hits. There we go. There was a couple more. Okay. Let's get this going. Let's get this. Let's get this. Nope. Okay, let's get our buffs. It's too late. And in his second phase, he does not take status effects. Sorry, Eva. So we have no ability to dodge, and we have no ability to do exceptional amount of damage because it is a crush weapon. But if it had happened to been a pierce weapon,
How are you feeling?
like if we do something like the halberd, if we do something like this, I don't have a like a status effect halberd, but if we do something like this, then you will notice significant. Well, this is a slash, so we would need a pierce, something like the Queen Slayer halberd. Oh, we can try it. So the nice thing is because it's only dependent on your not on your weapon. It's only dependent on your skills here and everything. You can apply this fairly consistently from enemy to enemy, and you can have really good results consistently, and so you can kind of count on how it's applied. I was hoping to get it with the huge hammer there, but that 5-hit combo from the running attack, if you can line it up with an enemy and all 5 hits actually hit the enemy, that also counts on Blade Dance as well. So you can increase your hit potential exceptionally high.
You are awfully attentive.
Alright, let's try this again. Alright, and we'll go back to, I don't know if we'll go to Time Crunch. Probably go for this. Okay. See, he changes directions mid-air. I don't know why that's allowed, but okay. Thanks, Eva. See, because these are pierce attacks, but again, we are not taking we're not taking our stamina seriously here because we are, and our stats are out here. And does 2. Eva was gonna heal me, but he knocked her down. So, this isn't going too well. This isn't going as I thought it would. Yeah, there's a better way. So let's see here. Oh boy, we're thinking on the fly here. I mean, the default right is Queenslayer Jack. But I wonder if we do something red shoes. Because that's where the huge hammer pairs exceptionally well, is with red shoes from Fion, and once it pairs with that, it's exceptional how it goes forward, because you never have a stamina issue, and so something like Rush of Blood, where it decreases your stamina recovery rate, then that is negated completely by red shoes. So that is a great way to go about applying kind of what you had here in Prometheus, but then red shoes takes it to that next level, but you lose the 5% damage increase all the time. So let's see, we need to do a piercing attack. We don't really have anything that's exceptionally strong in pierce. This is not pierce, but when it's paired with Chariot Rush, then it does exceptional damage. Maybe we can do, let's see, what's it scale in? Dex and strength. So something like the Prometheus would be pretty good for it. As it, yeah, there it's increasing. Sure. We'll go for halberds. Let's see here. Okay, we'll go for ice. We'll go for Chariot Rush. Whoops. Chariot Rush. And Bridge. Or Offensive Order. I think we'll go for Bridge. Yeah. Okay, and Bridge to Glory, and it'd be great if we could go for Hasten. Well, this will get us more than Hasten, but at least we can go for a mobility enhancer. We'll go for some more stamina recovery rate, and we're not going to be doing this, so we'll go for dodge potential. Okay, well, since we're trying Prometheus here, we'll go for something like this. Now our main damage buff is going to come out of it's going to come out of Chariot Rush. So as soon as that's active and ready to go, and we have all our buffs up, that'll get us the most damage that we can possibly hope to inflict in one straight attack. So we'll have to keep our eyes on that. Go ahead and get some buffs or some ichor here from these guys, so we can go ahead and use our gifts more effectively. Now I've gotten some requests for a partner-focused build. We'll be doing that in the next episode. Since it's the City of the Falling Flame, we will go for something that buffs Eva to exceptional heights. Okay, and I guess we'll go for this, and then as we get into the fight, we will go for other things. Okay, adrenaline. Ooh, hey. Dude, you need to chill. Okay, so the overhead attack is the best attack that we have currently against him. Okay. Oh, how's that fair? But, you know, again, Code Vein's not here to be fair. Code Vein is here to mess you up and make you question fairness. Oh my goodness, why can't I dodge? Oh, I'm not dead? Eva is. Oh, now I am. Okay, so we got some considerable hits in there with Blade Dance, but our attack pattern is fairly slow, and like I said, we're not quick, so that's the problem. Is that anytime those damaging swift strikes that he has that come out, we're not able to dodge out of the way. So you have to have a huge lead time on when you're anticipating those attacks, which again, I don't have. Like that, I saw that one coming. It was big lead up, big wind up. I knew it was coming, so I was able to dodge out of the way. But with this guy, you have to seriously conserve everything. I hate when both of these guys come over here. It's like, why? Okay. So I want to try and stick with Eva, since that was the plan from the beginning, was to try and stick with partners throughout the runs. So we'll go ahead and stick with her for now, even though it can be painful at this point. So we'll go for all of these. Okay. That's okay. There we go. Let's get a... Oh, I dodged. Come on. Is he going for me? No. Thanks, Eva. Oh my goodness. Okay, we're probably gonna have to give up the ice and go for hasten. To give us that ability to dodge. Ugh. Yeah, I'm awake. Okay. So I did have a wish list here that I wanted to talk to kind of the community and maybe Bandai someday. Is that in order to have kind of an end game, as right now it's all the same weapons, all the same bosses, all the same everything to run through. And as there's no specials and uniques beyond the challenges from the DLCs, which those are cool, but again, you get something that you're never going to use unless you're Red Army 313 and you're doing boss fights. But it would be fantastic if we had something like mercenary missions, where you would go to the depths, or you would go to Davis, and he would give you a mercenary mission where you would go on some kind of mission down to the depths, where you would have a unique, or just any of the bosses, it doesn't matter, it could be any of the bosses, and you have maybe like a really, really, really long invasion that you have to survive or something, and okay, and then after you beat that boss and get a unique weapon that scales off of, or that has a random scaling attached to it, and since it would be unique to your run, only you would have it. So it would be it would be a unique that you would get. Oh man, come on. Oh, lucky. So like for example, if you went on a mercenary mission and you got a I don't know, let's say you got a Queenslayer Greatsword, but the typical Queenslayer Greatsword is B and a D plus scaling. So let's say the one you picked up might have an A plus strength scaling and like a C mind scaling or something. So that way it would completely change what weapons you would get, and it would change how you would use them, and it would change what blood codes you would get, or how you would scale off of the different codes and what you could use with them. And so every weapon would be unique to each player, and then you could have a seriously high end game that way, as everybody would be trying to go for the perfect S plus weapon across the board. And once you get that, like, it would just be incredible to have a weapon like that. Or for example, you would have star prestiges. What's going on here with my mouse? You would have star prestiges where you could every scaling that you would have would be a multiplier of your star prestige. So that way, as you go through the game more times, you have a better chance at getting high stat scaling unique weapons out of these mercenary missions. Okay. And so that would also encourage the community to continue staying inside the game, as you never know what kind of weapon you're going to get, because you're going to have these different stat multipliers that not everybody can have access to. So, and along with the star prestiges, it would be nice to have like a it would be nice to have an indicator above our character what our star rank is, so people would know, because people want to show off in the community of like what they've done, how far they've gotten, like how, because as of right now, there's no way to know who you're playing with and how good they are. Apparently, if you're playing with me, anybody's gonna be better than me. So
How are you feeling?
so that could be a very cool way to keep people intrigued, seeing that, oh, this guy, he's been through the game 50 times, or this guy has been through 10 times or 1 time, or so that way it would encourage people to have some kind of showing of how far they've gotten through the game. Okay, and another thing that I really wish for is a crush veil. It could be, something like 2 sleeves, and like Garrus from Mortal Kombat, where he makes the 2 arms out of sand, and they go into the ground, and then kind of like Eva's sand hands from the Successor of the Throat, where they go in the ground and pop up. I know that's a gift already, but that could be a really cool looking drain attack, as it could like smash people into the ground instead of going up out of the ground like the ivy veils do. These could be like something that come up and pound you into the ground. So that would be excellent if we could get a crush veil. as that is the third type of damage that we don't have in a Blood Veil right now. So those would be my 3 wish lists: a Crush Veil, a Mercenary mission that yields randomly scaled weapons at the end, and those randomly scaled weapons are scaled off of your star prestige, and then an indicator for your star prestige. Because as of right now, there's no incentive to do any of those. Come on. Oh boy. We are out of stamina. What? What? What is... this guy. Alright, buddy, come here. Yeah, you don't like that, do you? Sucks, huh? Alright, I'll give you that one. Oh, come on. There we go. Jerk. Ugh. Well, we did it with Eva. Kind of a cheese way with the blocking. But since the Sharor Fortified has 100% block across the board, sorry I wasn't commentating there for a bit. Yeah, we find out what happened to Miguel here, unfortunately. For him... So sorry about this, we went a little long here. I hope it's giving some different perspective on some of the multipliers, and I'll put the formula, like I said, for the blade dance and the buffs in the description, so you can kind of see how to do that, and how to pair that with what other weapon you might see fit to be able to do something like that, and then also the Hades build for the many debuffs. As we could do something like that on the kitty in the next part here, since she will be weak to, well, she'll be weak to us because we're gonna be completely invincible again. But I want to get up some buffs so that way Eva will be kind of not overpowered, but it'll give her an extremely good chance to survive everything. Okay.
This lost standing guard over the door.
Yeah.
Just watch.
Let me just beat him down real quick. It's not real quick, but you know. So we'll try something a little bit interesting next. Might give people some perspective on. So we got all the Artemis vestiges. It might give people some perspective. Oh, we missed the scout vestige core over by the sewage tank, so we'll continue on here. But it's over where the enemies were popping out of and coming to get us. I'll show it next star. Yeah, like I was saying, Crush Veil, mercenary missions, and then Star Prestige scaling. That would be fantastic. I think that would add a very, very long... Well, not the Crush Veil. That's just me wanting things that I don't have right now. But I think the mercenary missions would be a really cool endgame type of play, because you would be kind of farming for weapons, but you would never know what you get. So it would be, you do 10 runs and you get a really good one, or 15 runs and you get a really good one. But then if you want to go for higher, then you want to definitely prestige yourself up more through getting more stars through playing the main quest here. And as you continue to play the main quest, and then you play the mercenary missions, and you get higher and higher scaled weapons, eventually, you get an argent pole, axe that has an S across the board here, or an S plus across the board, or an S plus in 3 things where before it was only 2 things. Or I don't know how that would affect the formulas that Bamco has encoded here, but something like the Libertador intensified, having that go up even more, and then if you would intensify that and have it even higher stat scaling, you could just have some bonkers crazy damage scales that you could come out of this. But at the same time, I mean, the game gets harder and harder, I believe, with every star that you go up, and there's a damage multiplier that you are inflicted with, and a damage reduction multiplier that you do to the enemies, and also they get more health. So I mean, that would balance the stat scaling. But then if you go into someone else's game where they're lower, you would definitely be able to help them. But because you would have a star prestige next to your name over here, like in your companion level, you would have a rewards list, sure. But then after that, you would have, I don't know, like up here, Hero of the Ages, and it would show like a star prestige number, and that would show you like, oh, who you're playing with and everything. So that could be something a lot of fun and pretty interesting, and that could really give the game a really based a foundational basis for having a longevity built into it, and having people wanting to get the game. Because I mean, it would be awesome to get a Thunderbolt with much higher stat scaling in these different areas, and just go crazy with the damage output that you could have with these already crazy formulas that are built in here. I'm sure that wouldn't mess it up too much, but that would be up to the developer to figure out. But yeah, that would really give people a reason to play the game more than once, play it on New Game Enhanced, go for as many stars as possible, finish the game a lot, and by that time you would be so good at the game that if you would get something that was like, I don't know, a DLC weapon like a Blanched Greatsword, but it had other stats included here, and maybe the other side of it would be that they would have lower required stats, so you could use it more often, and then they would have higher stat scalings. And maybe if you get one randomly that has a lower required stat, then it takes away a stat from the scaling benefits here. So there's a whole bunch of different things there that could they already have, that could increase the longevity of the game and the fan base, as well as they already have the maps of the depths. So I mean, you could go to the depths here when you teleport. You can see all your depths maps here that you've been to, but then you could go to Davis and say, I want to do the regular map, or I want to do the mercenary mission map, and it's it's scaled to your star prestige, which I don't think there's a way to see any way except in the load screen what your star status is. Here you just see reputation, rank, this. So you don't really see that anywhere. So that would be cool if you could show people that, and also it would affect your weapons and your blood veils and everything, and you would only get one item at the end of every round. So you might get the same thing twice, you might get the same thing 3 times in a row, but we've got a fairly large pool here of weapons that we can choose from, and to have a ability to see something like the Warped Blade change up its stat scaling here a little bit. You might see folks using different combinations of weapons with charge attacks and with different codes and everything. So those are some of my thoughts. We're at an hour here, almost exact. So I hope this was fun. We learned a little bit about the debuff scaling on damage from Hades here. You can do this on any code. I was just using the Huge Hammer, and so that was how we were going about that. You can use any Huge Hammer, stun or slow or whatever. It doesn't matter. But yeah, I hope that was educational and interesting. Like I said, I'll put all this in, most of this in the description here, and hope you all have a great Sunday night finishing out here, and that you had a great weekend. And we'll continue on here in the City of the Falling Flame next. Thanks.